You've got a project, so you build a team and you press play and it doesn't work. Why not? This week, we're looking at the very careful balance between systematization and momentum. Welcome to Weekly Marketing Thoughts with CTG Intelligence, your weekly look at marketing, PR, business development for your business, organization, and career. Please hit that thumbs up button below and click subscribe for more content just like this. Welcome to my ryokan, because of course we're talking about the Kaizen constitutional constant improvement process. Not really. I just thought I'd put it up there for a bit of a change and get us in the mood to strategize and use all sorts of interesting jargon. The dynamic between systematization and momentum is a really key one because in MBA courses, it's often taught all you have to do is make a list of your recurrent tasks, decide on a directory structure of responsibilities, document your processes, and then ask a colleague to perform a task that otherwise you would perform. And that works to a certain extent because there are some things that really lend themselves to systematization, no matter if it's a new business or a new project. Management is often taught about delegation, but then they end up having to do a lot themselves. So let's think about it. Generating leads that can be systematized, onboarding new clients, yes. Managing the sales functions, at least it's managing it and not closing it. Booking appointments, billing customers, sending out surveys, some marketing and maybe graphic design. Those are ideal processes. But what have you missed? Let's take a company, a very large company that does something excellently. If you took a carbon copy of that, if you suddenly borrowed millions or billions of pounds and you recreated it in minute detail, you've got a marketing team, you've got a business development team, you've got a production team, you've got a management team, and you press play. Why doesn't it work? Why do you have to go back and go for more funding? That's the game. The game is fake it till you make it, although it doesn't always work. And where things are funded by venture capitalists, it's growth they're looking for and not effective business. Well, that's a bit subjective, but you get the picture. Why would you be backing a completely unprofitable company unless you're selling derivatives off of the back of futures of it because of the growth that you've seen? Anyway, that's another story. If you're starting a project, can you afford to lose money all the time? No. If you're starting a business, especially now, is it a very good time to lose a bunch of money? Probably not. Now, of course, in the pandemic, it's time to add value. It's time to prepare, get ready for the upturn, if when it comes. But this dynamic of systematization and momentum is so critical because it sifts out lazy people. People often say, I get a lazy person to do a job because they'll find an easy way. Maybe they will, but also they might completely mess up your task because they'll say, I have learned the art of delegation. No doubt you have, and it is an art, not a science. You've motivated people to get on with tasks. You've found out what makes them tick. Perhaps you're monetizing, in monetarily incentivizing them. But if it doesn't work, they'll just step away from the project and, oh, well, it doesn't work. Move on to the next thing. I've assembled a team, but get momentum and nothing can stop you. Well, nearly nothing. What does momentum really look like? Momentum is recurring customers. Momentum is people that believe in your vision, people that have been with you on a journey. You're constantly putting stuff out there into the world, adding value. You may not be sure when that value, if that value would ever return back to you by way of sales, but you're putting it out there. You're making yourself known. You're not just putting out marketing campaigns that say, buy my security product. Go on, buy it. Because that's not very long term. You've seen the companies, and of course, it is a little much, it's in the news right now. There are companies in the security sphere, particularly in the cybersecurity sphere, that don't treat their employees all too well. So, of course, there's lots of bad press about that. But there's also some very, very, very short-term sales cycles where, for example, they will go to a meeting and they will leave the customer with an invoice. Now, that's bordering on fraudulent. But anyway, we haven't mentioned any companies, but you get the picture. That is all to prepare for perhaps a private equity buyout or an IPO and things like that. But what we're talking about is your project, your business, not these grand fanciful ideas where you go for third, fourth, fifth, sixth round of funding. Yes, sure, that could work, and hats off to them. But your business is not like that. So don't try and copy it. That's why some people argue that MBA teaches you to live in a giant corporation, and what an entrepreneur would themselves go and do an MBA first. They might go and do the Harvard summer business school, you know, when they've made it a little bit and they want to contextualize what they've said. But again, that's another story. So that's my thought this week. Not the Kaizen constant improvement process. Of course, that's very laudable, but get that dynamic between systematization and momentum ready. Click that thumbs up button below and hit subscribe for more content just like this. And I look forward to seeing you next week.